Welcome, I'm Jeanette, the Northbound Coach, and I'm so glad that you joined me today for what I want to share, another one of my nuggets that's coming out of my career coaching clients. And this nugget is particularly relevant if you are mid-career or later, have had a successful career, and more recently have found yourself in a really unexpected stuck position. After all of this time and all of this success in your career, all of a sudden you're wondering, am I in burnout? Am I suffering from a lack of confidence? Do I have imposter syndrome? What am I going to do? Because I'm not ready for retirement and I'm really feeling stuck. Like there's no way back or forward. I'm just stuck in this misery. Okay, so I have a hack, a little nugget that I want to share with you that I think will start to crack the door open a bit in terms of insights into how to go about getting unstuck. And it's a pretty simple thing. So here's what I often will go to when my clients are in this particular situation. Often as they're first coming into coaching, as we start to get some insights into, okay, well, what are the next steps that can be taken here? The first one is like getting out of this feeling like there's no movement possible. And so what I'll ask relative to the situation that they are stuck in, so think about your situation as you're applying this to your circumstances. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like, yeah, I'm feeling great about this situation, wouldn't change anything, to 1 being like, absolutely, this is terrible, terrible situation that I am in currently. How would you, on that scale, rate your current circumstances? So 1 being worst, 10 being fabulous. Since we're talking about being stuck, it's probably not going to be a 10, right? It's probably going to be something maybe mid to lower end of the scale. So let's say that you assess your situation as, yeah, I'm feeling like I'm a 4. I'm a 4 on this scale. So certainly not feeling great, not close to the 10, closer to the 1 in the scale. Not terrible, terrible, worst, but there's a whole lot more space towards the 10. Then the question to ask is, all right, what would it take to move 1 step lower on the scale? So in other words, if you set a 4, what circumstances would cause you to come back and say, actually, it's a 3? So, what awfulness might occur to move it again in the quote wrong direction, the direction that you don't want. But okay, you're a 4, what would make it a 3 for you? And then the second question is, relative to that change, of course, what circumstances would have you come back and say, actually, I'm going to rate these circumstances not a 4 now, but a 5. So a one point change on that scale of 1 to 10, both the negative direction and the positive direction. What would those circumstances look like? And then out of that set of data, right, what are you noticing about that particular set of circumstances that would cause it to change to the positive or change to more of the negative? Just 1 point either direction. So we're not saying what would it look like to go all the way to the 10? No. What would it look like to go to the 1? No. We're talking about from that 4, what would it look like to move to the 5? What would it look like to move to the 3? And in that data, okay, now we have some more insights around what's happening in that stuck position. Things that we might look at, oh, okay, was that going to move that direction, the negative direction? Okay, well, what's connected to that we might do a little fiddling with, a little bit of nuance changed. And also, okay, well, if that's going to move you to the 5, what could we do? What can you do to change those circumstances a bit to make that movement happen? Now, I'm not saying that we stay there. That's not the end of the whole thing. What I'm offering you is a nugget to that first little bit of getting unstuck and getting some insights that we can now work with around, okay, well, what does that look like to make that happen? All right, I wanted to share that with you today. It's deceptively simple. It's simple to do, but it unlocks a lot of complexity. I hope that helps. I hope that you have a good week ahead. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.